Hello and welcome back to this assignment walkthrough video for the DHIS2 curriculum developed by Logical Outcomes. My name is Nicholas Santillo, and in this video I'm joined by Sarah Godin, and together we go through the second assignment, structuring organic groups and group sets. Okay, so I'm back here with Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hey, Nicholas.
And we're doing the second assignment, structuring organic groups and group sets. And we're going to be building on the idea of having a structure of our organites. We know what they are, we know how they're structured, and now we want to build some sort of an interactive structure so that we have a grouping of them that can be across levels or within levels. And in this specific example, we'd be talking about grouping organites within a level. Yeah?
Yeah, so this assignment is, again, working in a table. So whether you've got it in Excel or you've put it in your personal notes in the notebook, this is the table we're working with this time. So if you remember from the last assignment, when we structured the organites, we came up with a level 4, city, towns, and reserves. So what we've done is we've taken some of the cities and towns, and we wanted to group them and be a little more specific about the type of city, town, or reserve. So Nicholas has gone through in the example and pulled out, and based on our knowledge of Canadian locations, we've been able to say, okay, so these are some villages. So village would become a group. These are the towns that we've identified, and a town maybe is less than 10,000 people, for example. A city, also a certain number of population there. So in effect, we're creating 4 separate groups here that we can then use when we're making reports. So we're collecting information from all of these regions, and then once we've got our configuration set up, we've entered some data, we can pull reports for specifically village. And we could even go a step further and say specifically villages in a certain province, or only cities within a certain org unit. So grouping becomes very helpful when it comes to making reports and doing your analysis.
Yeah, exactly. So I pulled these out, and this is just an example. It goes further because I was based on the metadata that I downloaded from, I believe, gadam.org. So it is appropriate metadata. It's not just a random selection. Yeah, it's useful for 2 sides. As you said, the reporting is very useful. You can, when you're pulling up a report on a data element, you can choose. Instead of having to go through your entire hierarchy and select each one individually, you can select a group at a time so that you can evaluate that group. It's also useful for when you're assigning your data elements and data sets. Instead of having to go through and click one at a time, you can assign it to an entire group. And so it just speeds up the process of setup, and it speeds up the process of reporting.
Great. And so group set is one further way that you can make some different groupings. And group sets, they're useful for a certain type of report called an organization unit distribution report. So once you start getting into the reports units, you'll find an app that's called Reports. It's a little green pie chart. And there's some standard reports there. One of them is about org units, and that's where the group set comes into play. So you'll see here that what we've done is we've named the groups under one category. Some other common examples of group sets are ownership. Do people, are they homeowners or, renters or whatever in that property type? Another example is rural or urban. So you could have a rural group and an urban group.
You might also say we have schools that we have in our facility level, and you might say, are these schools public or private, or are they a religious school? Then that would be another group set.
Good example.
Yeah.
So in this exercise, we're really mapping this out because later, after you've imported your actual org units, you're going to do some manual connecting. So you're manually going to create these groups. So this is a design table that you're going to want to keep for reference shortly after.
Cool. And I think the last thing I'd just like to say is it's a good practice to make sure that all of your group sets contain, if we just go down there, Sarah, so we can look at an example. It's best practice so you don't have overlap within groups within a single group set. So an example would be, I don't want the city of Toronto to also be in under the group of towns. Because then what happens is I might actually get the system giving me double data, and so it skews my reporting in the wrong direction. So you'd want to do that in a different group set. But that's just a best practice note.
Yeah, that's great. So this assignment's pretty straightforward, and it'll help you to prepare for our next org unit assignment. And I think that's it from my end, Nicholas. If you have anything else to share, this has been a good quick look at setting up groups and group sets.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's good. So until next time, we're all done here. That's all for now. As always, you can get in touch with us at info@logicaloutcomes.net or on our YouTube channel, Logical Outcomes.